Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a birthday card to share with you using the High Flying Adventure stamp set from My Favorite Things. As you probably have realized, this is an older stamp set, but as I already told you in a previous video, I think, I'm trying to also give them the attention that they deserve. It's something that I want to do this new year. I am going to buy new sets. Of course, I cannot just let new stamps pass by and not give them a look and then give in on some of them. So I definitely buy new ones, as you will see in between all of the others. But I also want to feature these older, adorable stamp sets that you can still get, or at least in a few stores, because some of the products from My Favorite Things, for example, are retiring from time to time, and I think it's really sad because they are all so adorable. I get it, there are tons of new products, and well, it's just difficult, I think, to manufacture those older ones over and over when there is less demand. So I get it, but still. So I am hoping that if you have this stamp set that you will take it as well and just have fun with it again. If you don't have this and you really want it to, then I hope for you that it's not retiring already, and if it is, definitely check around whether there are still some shops that have them in their stash. So today's card is a birthday card, and I just wanted to do a really simple design to help you and me, because from time to time I just like birthday cards, and you can go over the top with your cards always, definitely. But if you don't have a lot of time, what do you do? And there are some ways of creating really simple cards, quick cards, even though you want to create a whole scene. And something that I tend to do then, for example, is taking a cloudy stencil. Is there anything more simple than taking a cloudy stencil, fill your background completely with that cloudy stencil, and just add your image that is suitable for that background on top, just a fun sentiment, and that's it. That's what I'm doing today. I personally find that you can do a scene and you can put grass underneath and then the plane isn't as high. You can do all of that if you want to. You don't need to create a background either. You can do a simple part of your background that you do some ink blending on. But if you really love filling up your background, but still want a simple card that will be quickly to make, then the cloudy stencil definitely is your best friend. In my opinion, you just need a few elements on top and you have your card. On my card today, I'm featuring some yellows, also some grays, which has been like a combination a few years back. Fabulous combination, and I don't know why I haven't used it lately, but really simple yellow, gray, and a few blue accents. This card can be feminine, masculine, it can be for any gender you want to, which is really handy as well, because sometimes you might have birthday cards but really gender specific that you find, and then it's hard if you need a card for the other gender. So having a few neutrals definitely is useful. So here I'm just creating the gray areas in case you want to revisit color combinations. As always, you can find them on my blog post, and there is always a link in the description box towards it. So check that out if you want later on to use these colors. It's really easy to revisit and to just pick them whenever you need them. Okay, so the gray is finished. Now onto the blue colors. Really simple. The flags are really small, so you don't need tons of blue markers. I used 3 in the end because I'm also using them on the clothing, but really simple. I'm doing a few lines from the flags that are with the stripes. I'm just keeping a line white and then blue and then white, blue. So really simple coloring. You can also do rainbow flags, of course. You can go out there if you want to, but I just want to showcase how simple it can be. Quick, easy to create this birthday card featuring an older stamp set. So once everything is colored in, we can take the matching dies, or if you have a machine that is cutting everything out, you cut everything out. If you love fussy cutting, respect. you can fussy cut the images out, and then we will continue with the rest. Now for the sentiment, I have this happy birthday die from my favorite things, and I have not used it enough so far as well. It's a really simple one, elegant, quite big, but that's great. If you are like me and you love just featuring a few images, a big sentiment can help you fill up your card without tons of work. I went with a gray colored cardstock to die cut it as well, because I have that gray on the airplane, and this way we have like a link. You don't need to have that. You don't need to use gray if you don't want to. I also took 2 layers, so I did one white, one gray to just have a bit more dimension. And then later on I will also use like the die to help me align it correctly. As you can see right now, the birthday is kind of lower in the beginning of birthday, and it's not always that easy to have it perfectly aligned as intended by the manufacturer or the brand. And I really love spacing from my favorite things itself, so I didn't want to mess with that, but that's for later. Now I took the cloudy stencil from Fawn, and I'm just using my favorite Distress Ink cracked Pistachio to help me get really soft clouds on top of this panel. This panel is a bit larger than what I need for my mini slimline, but I will trim off later on the excess so that I have like the perfect size for my card. So I'm just ink blending here as well. I'm moving that stencil towards the right to just have a long enough area for this mini slimline, and then I'm just adding a bit of that cracked pistachio on the bottom as well. I'm already trimming a bit off here, and then I will align it with my mini slimline card base to help me get everything in place. Here, as I said, I wanted that same spacing for the happy birthday as the die intends to have. It's not always easy when it's a bit loose, so I use some purple tape to keep it in place, and then I can later on add it to my panel with some liquid glue, and then I have it exactly how it was intended, perfectly spaced out my sentiment. Now for the image, I am using some thin foam squares from Scrapbook Adhesives, my favorite adhesive out there currently, because it's just the perfect height. You have some dimension, but it's not too much to have some issues with mailing it. Like that, and I'm just testing out whether the design is still working. It's kind of a large sentiment, so just space-wise it was a bit of a puzzle, but it's working just fine after all. I'm using some liquid glue to add my sentiment on top of my panel here. It also gives you a bit of wiggle room. I don't really like wiggling too much with a small or thin sentiment like this, because you will see like the excess glue on the panel, so I try to add it as good as possible immediately, and then I'm just putting an acrylic block on top to let it dry, to let it set before removing the purple tape and such. There we go. Don't forget the tittle on the eye of birthday. I just had to find it. It was a struggle again, but I found it in the end, so that's the most important thing. I'm going to add this panel to my card base here, because I still need to trim off kind of a few areas. It's not perfect, and once you add a lot of dimension, it can be really hard to get rid of excess. Now I found the tittle, which is great. So I'm just going to add that before I forget it and lose it again. And then once I'm happy with placement here, I'm going to commit with adding all of the images here. Also trying to have a triangle here, an irregular triangle. I prefer that design-wise, it just works. And that how is it? I'm just lacking the words here. The airplane is going to be slightly on top of the sentiment to just have everything connect with each other. I added the clouds as well And now I'm going to add a bit of embellishments. I'm using the Iridescent Bubbles Tiny from Studio Katia. I'm just gathering them around. I took some time to fiddle with placement, and once I was happy with it, I used some liquid glue and my embellishment wand from Studio Katia to help get everything in place. An embellishment wand, a quick stick tool, anything like that is really handy to have on hand whenever you like adding embellishments to your cards, because sometimes these embellishments are so small that it's really hard to get everything in the right area with your fingers. So a wand can definitely help you. And that is going to be my card for today. A really simple, soft birthday card that you can use for any gender. It's a really fun one. The yellow jumps off of it. I hope that this card can inspire you whenever you need a quick birthday card where you want to add a complete scene. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you all an incredible day, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!